Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nora Desulke. I'm specialized in natural product drug discovery. I received my PhD from the University of Alabama in Huntsville in biotechnology science and engineering, and I had my postdoc research training in Vanderbilt University in clinical pharmacology. I'm so excited to be with you today to talk about essential oil quality and what sets dōTERRA apart from the rest of the market. The quality of essential oils is an important issue for anyone using them therapeutically. Confidence in their purity begins with ensuring they come from a known botanical origin with a known composition. dōTERRA is committed to having 100% pure oils from natural sources, which makes the oils potent therapeutic agents. dōTERRA oils are not contaminated and not adulterated. But what is the difference between contamination and adulteration? Contamination means introducing a chemical or pollutant unintentionally to the oil. A good example is when Roman chamomile producers would collect the oil in plastic water bottles instead of the glass or stainless steel ones. The oil collected in plastic bottles becomes contaminated with phthalates or plasticizers, and of course will have to be rejected. On the other hand, adulteration is the intentional addition of a chemical, other essential oils or carrier oils to make more money from a small amount of essential oil. Adulteration alters the chemistry, chemical and physical properties of an oil. It decreases the efficacy and potency and also can cause some adverse effects. Oils can be adulterated in many ways. The simplest form is the addition of a cheap carrier oil like olive oil, coconut oil, or canola oil to a small amount of essential oil to make it larger, and that dilutes the oil, decreases its potency and efficacy. Another way to add another cheaper or more common oil to a more expensive or rare oil, like in the case of adding cassia or cassia to cinnamon oil, or lemongrass to melissa. This way, the adulteration using a similar oil of chemistry and aroma is not easily detected by the conventional methods. One of the most sophisticated ways to adulterate an oil is the addition of naturally isolated compounds to the essential oil. A good example is in the case of alpha-vinine. Alpha-vinine is a main component of frankincense. It also can be isolated from the trees used in the paper industry and added to frankincense oil. The oil created this way can pass some of the tests as the original oil, but fortunately we have ways to discover that. The last form we're talking about today is the addition of essential oil components that were synthesized in the lab. Typically, these synthetic components are created out of petrochemicals. You'd be surprised to know that the lavender oil can be produced without using a lavender plant at all, but by synthesizing its major components from petroleum-based products in a lab. Because there is little to no regulations on the quality and safety of essential oils, it became a common practice to adulterate the oil to make more profit. So the question now is, with more than 80% of the essential oils in the market being contaminated or adulterated in some way, how does dōTERRA ensure genuinely pure oils all the time? dōTERRA has established a rigorous process for testing with the Aromatic Plant Research Center, or APRC, for testing every lot of oil they have. Let's review the process together. First, a pre-shipment sample is sent from the supplier to the APRC lab before the oil leaves the country of origin. APRC analyzes the sample and provides dōTERRA with the unfiltered feedback on this sample. Upon approval, dōTERRA issues a purchase order to the supplier. The bulk oil is then shipped from the country of origin to the dōTERRA manufacturing facility. Upon receipt, dōTERRA would sample that oil again, the bulk oil, and send a sample to APRC to be tested again, and at that point, it is also tested by the dōTERRA internal QC lab. Both labs will analyze the sample and then provide dōTERRA with unfiltered results on the quality and purity. They're doing the test again to ensure that it is identical to the pre-shipment sample that was sent prior to shipping the oil from the country of origin. This is the same result that was uploaded to the Source2You website. So at this point, every lot of dōTERRA oil is tested by the APRC lab at least 2 times, tested by the QC lab, and in most cases, it is tested by the producers themselves. Following this process, dōTERRA can confidently ensure the purity of the oil they provide. Now let me tell you about the testing process itself. There are a lot of different testing that we do for analyzing essential oils. Let's start with the smell test. Organoleptic testing or smell test are usually the first line of testing to determine the quality of an oil. The essential oil is evaluated and compared to a reference standard oil. Upon odor and color, it might seem like a simple test, but it requires a lot of training and experience. Organoleptic testing has limited capacity in adulteration detection though. So another test we do is the physical constants, which is an easy way to see if the oil is consistent with an established standard of the same oil. We measure optical rotation, refractive index, and specific gravity. Optical rotation of an oil is the angle at which the polarized light is rotated when it passes through the optically active substance, in that case is the oil. Refractive index is a similar concept, and it measures how much a beam of light will bend or refract when it passes through the sample of essential oil. Specific gravity is a ratio of the density of the sample, which is the oil, to a reference material, the density of water in that case. The results of these tests are compared to the reference oil. If they are within an expected range, it's a good sign that the sample is what it was supposed to be. Now, this testing has a lot of limitations as well, because sophisticated adulteration by adding components that were isolated naturally can pass that test. That's why multiple tests are needed to establish multiple layers of information to confirm the purity of an oil. Now, the most important method we use for essential oil testing is GCMS, or gas chromatography mass spectrometry. It can identify the components of an oil, and using the intensity of the beak, we can determine how much of each component is in that sample. GCMS is also used for adulteration detection. We also use it for discovery of new oils and new components. The major limitation with GCMS is that it detects only the volatile components in an oil. It does not have the capability to directly analyze compounds that are not volatile, polar, or thermally unstable. For this reason, we use another technique called LCMS, or liquid chromatography mass spectrometry. LCMS is useful in identifying heavier or larger components that are typically not detected by GCMS, just like in the case of plant extracts, absolutes, and concretes. LCMS is also a very impactful tool in detection and quantification of pesticides and other contaminants. When used for adulteration detection, LCMS gives a greater capability for simple, unsophisticated adulteration detection, such as dilution with carrier oils. In addition to all the previous tests, it is worth mentioning that each lot of oil and finished product goes through the following microbial testing to make sure the oil is clean and safe to use. Each oil gets tested for total blade count with total microbes, yeast and mold, Escherichia coli, Pseudomonas, Salmonella, Staphylococcus, Candida, and bile-tolerant gram-negative bacteria. I know it's a lot of testing, but it was all established to ensure the highest quality. Now that you know the rigorous process of the oil has to go through to reach you, let me tell you that this is only one part of what we do. We also do essential oil research. As you might know, aromatic plants have been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years in many forms, from the fresh plant and its secretions to the extracts and oils. Over the course of my career, I have worked with several natural product drug discovery groups. Through my work with APRC and collaboration with dōTERRA, I participated in diverse research projects in a variety of ways. We gathered a great deal of information from peer-reviewed journals. We also did a lot of field work and lab work. Experimental evidence had shown a remarkable potential for the essential oils, which confirms their traditional uses. You can find a lot of good information in our publications, especially the one on bioactivity and safety considerations in citrus oils. We extensively reviewed orange, neroli, lemon, lime, bergamot, grapefruit, kumquat, and yuzu oils. We found a lot of interesting effects for these oils, and here are some examples. Grapefruit, lemon, and yuzu oil can help with weight management and can work as natural weight loss aids. Clinical trials have shown that neroli oil and bergamot are helpful in pain and discomfort management. Neroli and bergamot oils also are used for their soothing, calming, and relaxing effects by healthcare centers in Central America and Europe. These oils also decrease the anxiety scores, improve the mood, and create a sense of well-being. Yuzu oil is helpful in maintaining the blood glucose and blood cholesterol levels around the normal ones. For menopause, clinical studies showed that neroli odor was effective in relieving the menopausal symptoms, reducing the mean anxiety scores, maintaining normal blood pressure, and increasing the romantic feelings. Neroli also is effective in relieving the symptoms of premenstrual syndrome, or PMS. Another interesting effect is lemon oil is an excellent penetration enhancer for topical application of lipid and water-soluble vitamins, which are critical issues for anti-aging formulations. Neroli, yuzu, and lime help with enhancing memory and learning. and grapefruit oil energizes and uplifts the senses. We also did an extensive review on the composition and biological activity of curcuma species, including turmeric oil. Several studies investigated the biological activity of turmeric oil and showed a great potential for this oil. It has the potential to maintain healthy cholesterol and blood glucose levels. It maintains healthy blood vessels, which promotes healthy circulation. It helps with weight management. It is a remarkable antioxidant, which is the mechanism behind it being neuroprotective and supports healthy nervous system function. It improves the mood, promotes feelings of positivity. It reduces stress because of its soothing, calming, and relaxing effects. It maintains healthy inflammatory response of the body. It is good for joint comfort and function. It is good for maintaining healthy liver and GI tract functions. While compiling all this research on aromatic plants, I came across a study that could be a good read for you. It's about the aromatic plants that are mentioned in Quran and Sunnah and their therapeutic importance. The study found 15 aromatic plants, including ginger, camphor, basil, frankincense, lemon, and myrrh. This paper is a great source for information on the medicinal importance of these plants. I would definitely recommend it for you to read. Now, with all these positive effects of essential oils, there are still some cautions that we need to be mindful of. Essential oils are generally safe, and many of them have generally recognized as safe status or GRAS status, but you have to keep in mind that it takes a relatively large amount of plant biomass to produce a small amount of essential oil. The essential oils are powerful, concentrated form of plant-based solutions, so use it responsibly, educate yourself on the oil before using it, follow all the label directions. Skin sensitivity is a primary issue with the use of essential oils, especially irritation and photosensitivity. I'll give you an example. For some citrus oils like bergamot oil, if used neatly without dilution, it can cause irritation and photosensitivity, if used topically, of course. So it is recommended to dilute the oil before use and to avoid direct light exposure for at least 12 hours. Also avoid contact with your eyes, ears, nose, and other sensitive areas. Remember that some oils need to be further diluted to be suitable for your kids. Don't assume that all the oils that are safe for you are safe for your pets. If pregnant or breastfeeding, consult your healthcare provider before using some oils, because some oils can dramatically affect your hormones, while some others can interfere with your fetal development and angiogenesis. Also avoid using any old or oxidized oils because they are dangerous. Stay safe.